What's up, guys? Welcome to Comic Basics Top 10s, where we count down the important and unimportant things in comics in 10 minutes or less. I'm Joel, and today's list, the greatest Green Lanterns ever. Before we begin, I'm going to ask you to do something for me. I need you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button right below this video. Not only does it ensure that you don't miss a video, it also helps this channel grow. Of all the Lantern Corps in DC, none are as regarded or known as the Green Lantern Corps. Throughout their existence, they have had a carousel of heroes and villains in their ranks. Some have proven to be as useful as a broom with only a handle, while others' usefulness is unmeasurable. Of all the Green Lanterns, only a select few have gone on to Tom Brady status. You know, the GOAT. I'm sure that off the top of your head you already know a few, and if you don't, no need to panic, we're going to count them down. But who are they? Who are the greatest Green Lanterns of all time? Well, here we go. Ask anyone who the most powerful being in DC is. Now ask them who the most powerful being in all of comics is. I'd be willing to bet that the answer was the same for both questions. Superman. Why do I tell you this? As a Daxamite, Sodom Yat is a descendant of Krypton. As a descendant, he shares many of the same powers and abilities when exposed to Earth's yellow sun. Sodom Yat is so powerful that he became the new host for the Ion entity after Rayner lost it during the Sinestro War. More than that, he stood tall against the likes of Superboy Prime. But this isn't what marks him as one of the greatest Green Lanterns ever. Not even close. What marks him as one of the greatest Green Lanterns is that his prophecy states that he is destined for greatness, and as someone who brings down the Green Lantern Corps. Mogo is a little different from the others on this list. First of all, obviously, Mogo is a planet. Second, Mogo telepathically controls every power ring in existence. That is, when the ring's bearer falls, it's Mogo who gives guidance to whom the ring should go to next. Aside from being a planet, Mogo is unique in the sense that he can call upon an entire planet's worth of power when required. This means that along with controlling every power ring, Mogo moves at the speed of light and can control the gravitational pull of himself. Mogo was created as a one-off character but became immensely popular among Lantern fans. Due to this, Mogo has appeared in many well-known stories. Oh, and it helps that his power is so strong that he can purify those corrupted by the other rings. Abin Sur is an anomaly in the Green Lantern Corps. During his life, he became one of the most widely respected and loved Lanterns ever. Abin Sur successfully predicted the Blackest Night prophecy and warned all those who would listen to him. Because he knew that the prophecy would bring pain and death to all involved, he helped create the very powerful Indigo Tribe. And boy, are we glad he did. Without the tribe, the world may not have survived the prophecy and things would be very different. Abin Sur is probably best known for two things. First, he was the protector of Space Sector 2814. This, of course, is the sector that includes the Earth. Second, he was the Lantern that wielded the ring of that sector before Hal Jordan. Nearly the first of DC's iconic black heroes, Jon Stewart solidified himself as one of the go-to Lanterns when trouble calls. Jon Stewart became the third human Green Lantern after Hal Jordan relinquished his position in the Corps and Guy Gardner was unable to perform his duties. His importance in Green Lantern lore is second to none. Jon Stewart became the first human guardian of the universe and oversaw the restoration on Mosaic during the Emerald Twilight event. This should impress you. He was a guardian of the universe. How many others can even say that? Jon Stewart is one of the greatest Green Lanterns of all time and further proved this when he was asked to join the Justice League. If an individual is charged with overseeing every new recruit, he must be a great Green Lantern. That's Kilowog. Kilowog is responsible for teaching every new Lantern in some way or another. Each recruit brought into the Corps spends time with Kilowog, learning ring mastery, creating objects from the mind, and every other thing you can think of. And that's just the beginning. He is as physically imposing as any being in DC, and just as good a warrior. He's often the first into battle and the last to leave it. Because he trains all new lanterns, his devotion to preaching and practicing the Green Lantern way is what lands him here. Of all the Green Lanterns, none may be as gifted as Kyle Rayner. At his heart, Kyle Rayner is an artist with a wild imagination. Considering the power ring allows the user to create anything they can dream up, the way in which he uses the ring is second to none. As a fellow artist, Kyle Rayner holds a special place in my heart. When I read any of his stories, I often find myself imagining what I would create should I be chosen to wield the ring. Biases aside, Kyle Rayner is one of the greatest Green Lanterns because his imagination is unrivaled. There may not be a more divisive Green Lantern in existence. Love him or hate him, Guy Gardner belongs on this list. Guy Gardner is arrogant, cocky, acts before thinking, and at times difficult to be around. None of these detract from the fact that he is one of Earth's greatest heroes. What makes him a lock is not that he's big, strong, and does whatever it takes to defeat his enemy. What makes him a lock for this list is that he is the definition of what a Green Lantern is. Remember, in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. Guy Gardner is Yoth personified. The most admired and respected Green Lantern for as long as he was a part of the Corps, Sinestro has to be on this list. Sinestro was the Lantern that most aspired to be. He kept peace in his sector in a way that nobody could. Now, of course, his way wound up being everything the Lantern stood against, but that really doesn't matter. Sinestro was revered as revered comes. If any of this doesn't make a case for him, remember that his power and dedication to his cause is the reason the Sinestro Corps exists. How many other Green Lanterns can say they have their own Corps? For reasons as obvious as wearing a jacket on a cold day, Hal Jordan belongs on this list. Not only has he been one of the longest tenured Earthbound Green Lanterns, he is the one most people will name if asked to name a lantern. Hal Jordan has an unbreakable will, almost, and is often called upon when Green Lanterns are needed. He is not afraid to go toe-to-toe with some of DC's fiercest villains, and due to this, has a long-standing membership in the Justice League of America. His inclusion is as a foregone conclusion as any. You shouldn't be surprised to see Alan Scott here. Not only do we share last names, but he is the original Green Lantern from the Golden Age of comics. Alan Scott paved the way for other lanterns to exist. Alan Scott's power set differ from the way Green Lanterns operate today. While today's lanterns use their powers through a ring charged with a battery, Scott's came in the way of a ring, green meteor and flame. And they worked a little different. His ring allowed him to place people under hypnosis, melt metal, walk through walls, and travel through time. Alan's powers and the way that they are used have changed slightly over the years, but his contribution to the Lanterns cannot be understated. Think of it this way. Without him, the Green Lanterns wouldn't be where they are today. And that's it. 10 of the greatest Green Lanterns to ever wear the green and black. What do you think? Who would make your list? Leave it in the comments below. As always, I'm going to ask you 3 things before you go. First, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button. It really helps this channel grow. Second, if you really liked it, be sure to check out our other videos. If you don't know where to begin, no worries, I've given you a recommendation up in the right hand corner. Third, I'm going to ask you to check out 2 websites. First, I need you to go check out something we really believe in. It's called Comics for Cause, and you can find it at www.comicsforcause.com. The link is in the description below. Comics for Cause is a not-for-profit organization created by us here at Comic Basics that sees the distribution of comic books to hospitals and orphanages all over the world to children who need them most. Check out the website, and if you can, I encourage you to get involved. Second, I need you to check out Comic Basics, of course. Comic Basics is the parent company to this YouTube channel, and it has more information than we can cram into any of these videos. You can find it at www.comicbasics.com. The link is also in the description. Thanks guys, and we will catch you next time.